Teachers, it's been a little over a week since we've got sent back to work post the strike, and I'm seeing our boundaries slipping again. So today in this video, I want to talk about how we can protect our time and our energy and our efforts without feeling guilty. Hi, I'm Mariana and this is Three Peaks Classroom. I'm a teacher here in Alberta, Canada, and I love to make helpful YouTube videos for other teachers just like you. So last week, the government mandated that all the teachers end their strike and return to the classrooms to the exact same conditions that we left them in. Now, obviously, we can't control what is mandated against us, but we can control our boundaries. So in today's video, I want to talk about some of the teacher work-life balance struggles that we're all still struggling with and ways that we can combat them. So on Tuesday of this last week, I went onto my Instagram and I asked thousands of teachers, what is still one teacher work-life balance or boundary that you are still struggling with even after this strike? And honestly, I'm not shocked by the results. I'm more frustrated by them for all of us. The top obstacles that teachers are still facing and that are still struggling with: staying at school way too often, bringing marking home, the classic, oh, just one little pile and then you leave it there and it stays in the bag the whole night, spending way too much time lesson planning, and saying yes to way too many extracurriculars, clubs, committees, things like that. In other words, we definitely don't have a not caring problem. Instead, we actually have we care too much and we're taking on way too much of a problem. I definitely relate to all of those struggles, and those were my obstacles too for teacher work-life boundaries. But then one day it hit me, like, our to-do list never ends. It literally never ends. There's not a single moment in the school year where you're like, I feel good. There's nothing I need to work on right now. False. There's always something that we need to be working on. Even at the end of the school year, we're like, wow, okay, I'm glad that year is done. I definitely want to change how I do this next year. So then you spend your summer looking into Pinterest or Teachers Pay Teachers, and you're looking at how you want to improve things for next year. Literally, our to-do list never ends. So if our to-do list never ends, or it feels like it never ends, then we definitely need to be setting some boundaries so that we do not work ourselves to the bone. Then on Instagram, I actually asked a follow-up question to all of my followers. And I said, okay, now that we've shared our personal struggles, what is something like a boundary that you've actually implemented and it has stuck in your life and it has improved your work-life balance? And I'm really happy with the results. So teachers told me not responding to emails after contract time. And some teachers have even said that they've gone so far as to delete the email app off of their phone or their notifications off of their phone. I, for sure, believe in this. I get really frustrated when I get emails from staff or admin or whatever, especially on the weekends. One of you followers messaged me saying that you wished your admin would respect your weekend hours, and your admin was constantly emailing you like Saturday morning or whatever. I totally respect that. So one boundary that teachers have implemented and stuck by is not responding to emails outside of contract hours. Refusing to bring home during the week, like weekdays, or if they are bringing something, it's one little thing, like it's one little assignment. That is a boundary that teachers have implemented. Some other teachers have told me that they are marking less. So everything else is for skills and practice and stamina, and then they're only choosing one assignment to mark, or they're using Google Forms as a way to get like instant feedback, which is really good. And then my favorite, something that I've done personally, is staying out of the hallway teacher conversation drama and actually working during your preps and your recesses and your lunch breaks. I personally abide by that. I have a really hard time getting sucked into conversations with other teachers and then realizing like, whoop, there goes my 20-minute prep that I had for music, or there goes my recess break. I was gonna go photocopy something, I was gonna go pee, and I was going to warm up my hot chocolate or something like that, but there goes my time. So for me personally, just staying out of those conversations when I have a full classroom waiting for me to do something, that is definitely a boundary that I've set for myself personally. So this video is about preserving your health, your personal life, your joy, and of course, your longevity in your teaching career. I want to leave you with 3 boundaries that I have managed to implement in my own life, in my own teaching career, that have tremendously made a difference. So those of you that have been around on this channel for a while, you know that I'm in a new role. I'm in an English as an additional language support teacher. I support all the students in my school that don't speak English as their first language. But I'm going to approach these tips as if I was still back in my grade 3 or grade 4 classroom post maternity leave. So becoming a mama and having a little one waiting for you at home is a huge game changer and a reason why I set these boundaries in place, first of all. So the 3 boundaries, the top 3 boundaries that I have implemented since returning to work post maternity leave. Number 1, the number 1 rule that I implemented for myself was I allowed myself to stay at work for 1 hour each day post like the end of the day. So at the time the school bell rang at 3:05, I finished work at 3:05, and then at 4:05, I would allow myself to leave, or I would force myself to leave because I had my daughter in daycare and I did not want her to be in the daycare any longer than she needed to be. She was already at daycare longer than I was at work because she was getting dropped off by my husband at the same time that I was heading to work. And then I finished my work for the day and she'd still be at daycare waiting for me. So I would allow myself to stay at work for 1 hour each day. So from 3 to 4 o'clock, I would always first prioritize everything that needs to get done for the next day. So if there was any photocopies or any like art materials or anything that I had to prep, make sure my slides were ready, etc., that would take me about 20 minutes to make sure. And then the rest of the time, the 40 minutes, I would look at my to-do list and I would say, okay, I need to respond to this email and I need to give this parent a phone call and I need to update this IPP with something, or, hey, I have 30 minutes. Let me try and bust out some assessments for their journal writing. Let me read some journal responses, whatever. But as soon as the clock hit 4:05, that's it. I'm piecing out because, again, your to-do list will never end. It'll be there for me tomorrow, not to worry. But time in the evening with my daughter, that was very precious to me. So 4:05 every day, I left work, picked up my daughter, went home, and for the rest of the evening, it was me and her and my husband time. I did not do any work. I did not bring any work home. If I had to bring something home, like if report cards were coming and I had to do some sort of assessments, then I would allow myself to work on that after she went to bed, but no more than an hour because I already gave enough of myself during the teaching day. The second change that I made to my work-life boundary was I had a really bad problem of staying after school and planning for the next day. And I would tell myself, well, I'm not sure like what we're going to get done today. So I don't want to make these plans and then just have to go back and erase them. Boy, oh boy, was that a huge crux. Like, oh my goodness. I now spend 1 day a week and I plan for the entire week ahead. So usually this happens on Thursdays. In my district, every other Thursday, we get the afternoon to ourselves to work on whatever. And so what I would do is, and I usually got this down to about like 30 minutes. It was pretty good. I would sit down and I would look at my ELA plans and I'd say, okay, what am I doing for ELA? Let me check. Okay, we're going to work on this on Monday, and then on Tuesday, we're going to practice it. On Wednesday, I want to read this book or whatever. I would plan for the whole week ahead versus taking 20 minutes every day after school and planning for the next day. So 20 minutes times 5 days a week, obviously that's longer than an hour, versus about 30 to 40 minutes 1 day a week for my planning. You can see how much time you save by planning ahead for the full week. Now, a bonus tip, if you have my year plans or if you have my pre-made units or whatever, everything is ready to go. You already know what you're going to be teaching the next day because it says so on your year plan. So that's a little bonus tip if you want to save a little bit extra time. The third and final change that I made to myself post maternity leave and coming back to classroom full time with my 28, 30 students, I never allowed myself to feel guilty for buying pre-made teacher materials on TPT or on whatever teacher websites. I even subscribed to a teacher worksheet website because sometimes you just need a quick worksheet activity to fill in a 20-minute block that you have wherever. And I subscribed to that. I did not at all feel guilty for buying pre-made units. I remember coming back from maternity leave and being put into grade 4 for the first time, which is fine. I was excited about it, but I had no materials ready for grade 4. So I went on TPT, and this is years ago. This is before there were many Alberta TPT sellers. And so I think I had like 2 choices to pick from. Anyways, I went ahead and I spent over $100, but I got the entire social studies year already taken care of. It was the unit plans and lessons, and there was like a student workbook that had assessments embedded. I was like, you know what? This is absolutely worth $100 to me so that I can save myself time and stress. Now, I know it's going to sound controversial because a lot of you will make the argument, and I'll already see it in the comments below. You'll say, oh, but teachers shouldn't have to be spending their hard-earned money. And I totally agree with you. We should not have to spend our hard-earned money. But the stuff that the government gave us back then, or like the district, the materials that the district gave us, it was a starting point, but it didn't have anything else. I wanted something that was ready to go. I could literally print it or post it or whatever, and it was ready to go. I paid for that for myself. And I know from firsthand experience that buying pre-made materials or buying teacher unit plans and assessments is a lifesaver and a game changer for many of you, because I got a message from Nicole. Literally just yesterday, I got a message from Nicole. And the message says, as a first-year teacher, your year plan notebooks and weekly, daily ELA schedule freebie has literally saved my sanity while teaching a combined class. I feel like planning time is less because I have a guide to follow. It helps me to answer the whys and hows and lets me decide what book or topic I am teaching. Thank you is not enough. I truly appreciate it so much. And she goes on to saying, I feel like your resources have helped me keep stronger boundaries during my first year, and for that, I am forever grateful. And that's exactly what this video is all about. We need to be better at implementing boundaries, and we need to be better about making changes that save our sanity, save our time, and save the stress that we have. Because again, if we allow it, the government will just keep taking from us. So we need to put up our boundaries and say, heck no. I hope from this video that you choose to implement one of these boundaries into your own teaching lives. And if you feel comfortable, I would love for you to drop a comment in the comment box below. What is one boundary that is the hardest for you to keep right now? If this video resonated with you, feel free to hit that like button and subscribe, and then share it with another teacher friend who you think would enjoy it as well. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well post-strike if you are in Alberta. If you're watching from outside of Alberta, I would still love to hear a struggle that you have in your own life in terms of teacher work-life boundaries. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye!